Hey everyone, we're going to see what I learned today from doing a master copy from the artist Ignacio Pinazo. Ignacio Pinazo was an artist from the late 19th century into the early 20th century. So when I discovered him, I was looking through his work. I came across a painting that was inspiring to me to do something that was more personal, something that I recognized from a photo that I had. It was so similar. And it was this painting. It was this sleeping child. That's just what I've been calling it. I don't know the title yet. I could try to find it and maybe put it in the video. But I saw that and immediately thought, I have a photo just like this of my daughter, at least really similar. And so we were on vacation and everybody was asleep. All my children, my husband had fallen asleep early. And so I set up a light the best I could, had a canvas and some paint, and about an hour and a half came up with this. This is my new favorite painting. I'm just really proud of what I could learn from his painting and apply it to something that I'm just wanting to get better at. I'm wanting to get better at being as loose as I can, especially in the beginning. That way, by the time I get to the end of a painting, I can see what do I want to tighten up and what do I want to still keep nice and loose. He didn't have much detail in his background, and neither do I on this one. What I really wanted to capture was her pajamas that we love right now. So this painting is called Strawberry Pajamas. I'm going to have my dad help me frame it this weekend. So I just wanted to share that with you. This was a real inspiration for something that's in my life and something that we care about. Let's get to the painting that we're going to work on today. You're going to see me work through some things and talk about his life that is really worth knowing about. Pinazo was born in the mid-1800s in January, and he was born in Tudela, which is near Valencia, Spain. He would just paint a lot of everyday scenes, family portraits, historical portraits, and sometimes religious themes. But what he was really celebrated and known for was blending Impressionism with realism and capturing emotion of just everyday things that people were doing. Some women folding the laundry, some children sleeping, children playing out on beaches, outside. Different things that he captured were just relatable to the everyday person. And but as far as growing up, when he was growing up in Tudela, he experienced a lot of hardship. He lost his dad when he was really young, and he was left with his mom to provide for him. But he wanted to help her, and so he took on various odd jobs and worked as a locksmith. He assisted his mom with weaving and brought in some income together. But even with all these responsibilities, Pinazo found himself drawn to the world of art. And so he began studying and drawing whenever he could find time in between these different responsibilities. But he did as he helped his mom. In 1864, he enrolled in the Royal Art Academy of Fine Arts in San Carlos in Valencia. And he worked on formal training there in drawing and painting. So that time really shaped him for what he would go on to do. But kind of like a lot of artists did, at least European artists at the time, they would leave and travel to Italy. And in Rome, he continued studying drawing, and he took on inspiration on the different masters of the Renaissance, like Michelangelo and Raphael. What I find really interesting is Pinazo's connection to Joaquin Sorolla, because Sorolla would go on to do really well. He would achieve international fame, and Sorolla would acknowledge Pinazo's impact on his development as a painter. There was a time in Ignacio Pinazo's life where he suffered from tuberculosis, and it actually left him bedridden. But this would actually lead him to work on smaller, more personal pieces, and you can see a lot of emotion and reflection on maybe the fleeting nature of life that he was experiencing. And it didn't really stop him from having a huge mark on the world of Spanish art, but I do wonder if it was just a turning point where you saw more movement, emotion, maybe vulnerability in some of his works. Well, after I worked a little bit on the drawing and thinking through my proportions just a little bit, I wanted to work on the colors of the flesh tone. And I'm going to make 3 values for now. I'm going to do a dark, a light, and a mid-tone. When I make my shadow, my dark value, I'm going to pull in a little bit of ultramarine blue. But for these skin tone values, I'm going to be using alizarin crimson, yellow ochre, titanium white, and again, only using ultramarine blue for my cool shadow, and then keeping the mid-tone and the light warm. It helps me to plan these values into the piles that I just made, rather than trying to remix these colors over and over again. Here I have one of my daughters visiting me. We homeschool them, and I think this was just the end of their day, and they had wrapped things up and whatever independent work they were kind of working on, and I had made my way over here to do a little bit of this painting, and it was just kind of neat when they can stop by and chat with me while I'm working and painting on something like this. I like to go straight to the light after putting on the shadow before I lay down any kind of mid-tone. I like to just see where is the dark shadow, where is the light, and it's not a highlight yet. I'm not laying down anything too bright. Now that I'm done with the lights that I see so far, I'm coming in with my mid-tone, and it's going to take on some more shape and form here. I'm growing in painting hair. I'm laying down some light. I'm just thinking about what color I see. I see mostly white and ochre, maybe a little bit of red, maybe. And trying to see the shape of the hair, the form, seeing it as like a shape rather than trying to paint in individual hairs. I love what he's done with her shirt. I love that it's just super simple, very, very sketchy. Some of my favorite paintings are unfinished and sketchy looking. Tried to capture that here by not worrying too much about making it look just like what he did, but I would just wanted a loose, unfinished look at the bottom of the painting here around her shirt, just suggesting that the shirt has a lot of detail. Your eye kind of thinks that's a very detailed shirt, but you're actually not really painting in that many details. You're just seeing an impression of a detailed shirt. The eyes here I had to work on being not too detail oriented, because again my painting is on a smaller scale and I'm having to really simplify, but I still want to get the form of an eyelid, a top eyelid, a bottom eyelid. Think about how values work under an eye and how there's a bit of a shadow under that bottom eyelid. I really tried this time from my last critique with my dad to not lay the paint on too thick. I didn't go back and scrape anything like I had kind of planned on this time, but I didn't really need to because I didn't really think I laid it on too thick right away, but I more build the paint from thinner to thick towards the end. Well, while this is wet, I planned on taking this up to my dad, so I brought this to a stop here with plenty of things that I wish I could have kept going on, but I hope you enjoyed watching this. Hope you enjoyed learning about Pinazo, especially because he was somebody that inspired the very famous Joaquin Sorolla, so I think he's important to know about, learn from, and just copy some of his work. I hope you come back and join us for this critique that we're going to film tonight and hopefully post really soon. So if you're interested in that, join us again for the next video.